Hi, this is Ajay from Allcat Services Private Limited. As per our mailing conversation, I am here to demonstrate our project. The first question we have just in mail, that was what was the goal of the project. So here I can see the name of the project, that is we guys are working, that is Envision. Envision we are just having, that is by one of our US client. This is initiated, that was done by the NGOs of the USA. Basically in the Envision we are just having the students with the coaches having a main concern about providing the counseling for the students. So this is the project which we are working from the last 2 years, and this is one of our best client yet we are just working on. In the front end we are just using currently we are just using Angular 2, and in the back end we are just using as a .NET APIs, web APIs actually. So the first question which was asked in this mail, that was the goal. So the goal is to counseling at the career pathing for the youth. So here a student get counsel and get the career pathing for their better future. In this we have a better scenario of doing, like we are having a 4 type of the users in the application. First user we have the super admin, which is the whole soul of the project. Then we have the super coaches. Super coaches means the parent of the coach. Here the concept around here we comes the concept, that is the coach provides the career pathing and the best solution and satisfaction to the given assigned students. Like a student who just get passed from the class 12 and he want to get counsel from our website or actually NGOs. So that is Envision provide a coach, assign a coach, and coach provides a better solution for their, as per their knowledge. I mean, they provides a solution, they provides a good pathing, they provide a good technical scenario, like in which way they guys should go. So these kind of scenario that is taken care by the Envision project. So in the whole soul it is a project that is taken care by the NGO of the USA, and the whole front end we just move to the Angular 2, and the back end part we are just working in the .NET web APIs. So the beta testing has been completed of this project, and that is going to be just get live soon. Currently it is in the beta testing purpose. Secondly, in this mail we have the question, that was what the difficulties you faced in this project. So frankly speaking, we faced 3 type of difficulties, because that is working around we guys are working around last 2 years. So in somehow we might definitely we might have so many difficulties. Mainly we have the 3 type of difficulties we faced. First of all, we faced a conceptual design difficulties, because what happened when we just started working on this project, and we faced so many situations in between, like we are just working and we stuck somewhere else, and we change our conceptual design to get modified our code. So in meanwhile we tried so many times, and we just jumbled our code. We just made so many changes in our code according to the requirement each and every time. So these kind of issues we faced. So that was the first issue we faced, conceptual designing. We couldn't finalize the design at the conceptual level, so by which we faced so many issues in this. Second thing is technology. Now the technology concerned about the speed issue. Now there comes around what kind of technologies issues we faced. First of all, this site that was made in the Angular 1.x versions, and in 1.x we face so many issues when we come around the market usability, and we faced around so many usability in Angular 2 and 4. So we just moved out of the Angular 2 and Angular 4. So we faced optimization issue in the last version in Angular, because we guys are working in the Angular 1.x versions. Now there comes around the third one difficulty, that is methodology. In first phase we was doing like we just made a whole module and we are just delivering to the client. But what happened when we are just doing such a way, we have to do so much of rework, because what happened, we are just pushing yourself to just provide the module wise delivery to the client, and client saying there is some issue in the whole module, so it is doing reworking. So it was just like a waste of resources. So we faced these kind of 3 main issues in the whole project. That was the conceptual design. Conceptual design I already told about, I already talked about, like there is a designing issue. The conceptually should be defined itself. The technology, obviously the technology concern about like the optimizations, like the speed issue. Third one, the methodology, like in which way we are just providing the delivery to the client. So now the third question you ask about, how did you overcome that? Yes, we did. Currently we are just totally overcome the overcome the whole solutions or issues actually. So the first of the conceptual design, we found issues, like we are just doing reworking. So for that reason we are just using HLD and LLD. Now the question arises, what is HLD and LLD? HLD is high level design and LLD is low level design. At the first level we got a proposal. Now what happens, like we just modulate your code, we just find out the solution and we just make a HLDs using a Microsoft Visuals. So we just divide the whole project in the HLD itself and divide the modules. Now each module is divided into LLDs. Each module has so many sub modules. So we just made a module, we just divide all the project in the so many modules, and each module will be divided into so many components. So LLD will just have the information about the each component. Now the second issues we face, the technology concern. For resolving this technology concern, we just moved from the Angular 1.x version to Angular 2. In Angular 2 we are just having so many good usabilities, because in Angular 1 we are just using a test cases, and the test case that take care by the Jasmine and Karba. In Angular 2 we are just inbuilt having the facilities, and we are not using any sort of another usability as well. In Angular 1 we are just using grunt as an another usability for minification or some sort of CI integration. And in Angular 2, that is inbuilt source, we have the webpack packages and install the whole environment. So we find out these kind of solutions. And the third one, we have the methodology part. So in the methodology we are just working the CI integration. CI integration is continuous integration methodology. In the continuous integration we are just providing to the client the small type of work to each and every unit of in every span of time. Like if we are just working on a single page, so we are just working on a single page and providing this type of delivery to the client. So why we are using continuous integration, because the client have the aspect, client have the responsibility to just get know the whole stuff what is happening on a project. Because what happens when we are just providing the whole module delivery in the one shot, there might have so many issues client may face at the time whenever he is just, or he or she just getting the delivery. So we are just providing the conceptually component by delivery by using a CI integration, continuous delivery. So by using this delivery we are just getting a satisfaction from the client itself. Okay, so now the last question, not last, now this what was the next question is, what was the final result? Final result is we are just successfully delivering the project, and we are just working around the last 2 years, and we have around 10 to 16 people for the same project. So 10 to 16 people we are just working on this kind of Envision project. So this is some sort of good thing for our company itself. Now the project is ready, and just we are just delivering in the next couple of weeks to the client for the production. And now the last but not the least question that was you asked, that was the what you learned about this. So frankly speaking, our company and our scenario learned so many things in this project. But as a technical guy, I learned so many things. So I will say right now, like for the on time on budget delivery, we should have more concern about the designing purpose. Designing with the conceptual diagram should be made by first. If we just make it clear every conceptual diagram is the first phase, so we are not have to do much amount of work in this coding part. Because I already told you about so many difficulties we faced in this project itself, like the conceptual design. We are just working each and every time, and client design, client recommendations might change. So we worked so many times reusability work. So for removing this kind of reusability, we just make a HLD, high level design and low level design, and get approval from the client. After that approval, the designing and the conceptual, so many things are cleared in the first phase. So here so many difficulties may be removed. So many difficulties we should not have in the coding part. So we try to So in the main concern for the on time on budget delivery, we are just using the HLD's LLD, and for the good environment we are using a Angular 2 right now, but we are also having a main concern about the Angular 4 as well, but client is a satisfactory for the Angular 2 itself. But so in the whole system we guys actually learnt about we should be more optimized solution. We should have the more concerned solution in the technology part, as we are just working at the Angular 2 and Angular 4. And we should have more conceptual, we should have more power on the designing. I mean, the conceptual design should be conceptual diagram should be cleared in the first scenario. After we should start the development. So it provides a good productivity and on budget and on time delivery for sure. So this is all about the Envision project. So here we can just taking care of a project for a look. I mean, this is Envision project. Here we can I will try to show a user how we create the users. So here we have the user pages. In this we have so many roles. According to the roles we can just make it categorize the permission level itself. So we have so many permissions. Permissions is basically taken care by the roles, which kind of roles you have. The whole cell of the project is super admin. Only one person will be the super admin, and this is something we have all about our project. This is all about menus. We can just have browse through the menus, and that was this is a very good project, and that will help to the client itself, and definitely we'll just have great productive we'll just provide the great solution to the client itself. That's all that is all about our project, and thank you.